Let me start by saying I love both spirituality and self-help. My introduction into spirituality was sudden, epic, and life-changing. It was one of those experiences that you can't turn back from. My self-help journey has been a bit more cruisy, and it's been a fun process, sometimes exciting. But today, we're going to be talking about the big difference between self-help and spirituality. Because I think quite often they get lumped together, put in the same pot, and kind of thought of as the same thing. It all comes down to the reason behind why you're doing it, why you're practicing spirituality or doing self-help. If you're doing them to find relief from suffering, to find inner peace, to find joy, then there's one huge fundamental difference that you need to know about. When this fundamental difference is crystal clear in your mind, then you can decide which path you want to dedicate your energy to. So spirituality has always been around in its various religions or thought systems over centuries and probably ever since the world was born. And over the last few decades, the self-help movement has bubbled up. And that's full of positivity, motivation, and tips to create a better life. You can see that spirituality and self-help both deal with similar things. Both kind of answer questions for people seeking more in life. I personally love and use self-help a lot because it empowers me to live my earthly dreams. However, self-help will only go so far if you're using it to bring you more happiness. And here's the reason why. Self-help is focused on improving the human, the ego, the separate self. Giving it confidence in its uniqueness, improving its individual life, working on its weaknesses to attract its ideal partner or friend, telling it that if it does these things, it will be happy. Spirituality is quite the opposite. Spirituality is focused on undoing the human, undoing the separation, reminding us that we're already perfect. We just need to break down this idea about being this separate body that's leading its own separate life, and remember our true state of unconditional love, pure bliss, oneness. Remembering that no separation actually occurred and there's nothing to fix or improve, just a perspective to shift. Spirituality is focused on being one with God. So knowing this fundamental difference where self-help focuses on enhancing the specialness of the human ego and spirituality focuses on dismantling, undoing the human ego. Can you practice both in your life? Can you have both in your life? Up until thinking about this subject in detail, I thought, yeah, you can. A few affirmations are harmless, manifesting my dream house, harmless. However, the spiritual journey of awakening is uncompromising. If you want to awaken and be free of all forms of suffering, you've got to completely dedicate yourself to this new mindset. The non-dual spiritual text, A Course in Miracles, teaches you how to train your mind to see the world in such a way that undoes your ego, undoes the human. And it doesn't just undo the ego, it's like we've got blinkers on and it gently removes the blinkers. So at the same time as the human is dissolving, all these boundaries and limitations, the true experience floods in. So when you dedicate yourself to thinking this way, to seeing the world in this way, instead of applying an affirmation, you apply the ego undoing mindset. That completely removes the core issue of why you needed the affirmation in the first place. It knocks it out of the park. So if you're on the spiritual path, walking towards enlightenment, choosing self-help methods to change your life will ultimately be a slower process. And you might end up just going round in circles and actually strengthening the ego. Spirituality, certainly the mind training that's taught in A Course in Miracles, targets and transforms the core wound without even having to dig deep about whatever worldly issue is upsetting you today. You don't need to know. Healing is simple. You're just bringing your mind back again and again for every form of suffering, every pain, every upset, every frustration. It's the same. You just keep bringing it back. And it will relieve your suffering 1,000 times faster than any form of worldly self-help could do that focuses on strengthening the human, the individual. summarise. Self-help keeps you stuck in the world. Spirituality helps you undo and escape the world. Step off the cycle of suffering and death and return to your innate state of oneness. What a relief. With all that said, there are a few self-help methods that can relax the ego, taking away its grip, its tight grip on your mind, that then support you in choosing a loving mindset. So I believe if you use self-help consciously alongside your spiritual practice, it can be beneficial in releasing you from the suffering cycle caused by the ego, the human's bestie. So I am going to continue using self-help as a support consciously, but have my underlying focus consistently pointed towards true healing, helping me to undo the ego with every suffering opportunity that arises. What do you think? Do you use self-help and spirituality together? Do you think that self-help is detrimental to your spiritual practice, or the other way around? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell to get notified when I've got new videos out. And I hope you have a lovely day.